I know when I might be wanting to coach somebody and when I might not? I think that the simple thing to ask yourself is actually, what is stopping, what is affecting performance? Is it about attitude or is it about aptitude, so skills? And I think if it's skills, and if somebody genuinely doesn't know how to do something, you can ask as many questions as you like, but actually they need teaching. So then it's not the right time to coach. It's more of a mentoring or an instructing. So you're down that left-hand side of that continuum, in that push part. If the answer to that is no, it's actually they've got plenty of skills, they should be able to do this, but they're still not performing. So it's more of an attitudinal piece. That's your opportunity to coach, and to really understand the individual, what those barriers are, what is it that's stopping them. And there's all sorts of things that could be. So just work, it might just, I don't know how to get started, in which case that's quite a behavioural piece, and you can work on that action plan with them. There may be other fears and worries that you can help to explore. So I think asking yourself that question about, is it skills and aptitude, or is it attitude that's stopping that before affecting that performance? It's a good start. Say there will also be sort of crisis situations where you just need to get things running quickly, which will obviously need more of a directive approach. I'm a coachee. Do you recommend having a structure to the session? My current coaching sessions feel like a discussion with some tips thrown in. That's a really good question. I think that really comes down to, have you got a really defined goal and an outcome? What are you trying to achieve? And that for that session as well as broader. So I talked about goals, might be big goals or sort of performance goals, a step there, but it's equally important that you have a goal for that individual coaching session. So be really clear with that before you go, what do you want to get out of that, and share that with the person that you're coaching, to give you some structure. And the goal of that goal of that session may be about coming out with an action plan to achieve something else further down the line, and work through that and how you're going to achieve it. So how do you coach someone who doesn't share the same goals? As I said, the goals need to be owned by the coachee. So you will never coach them to achieve something they don't want to achieve. You need to, you can unpick that, you can understand it, and I just still think it's worth exploring where there is this misalignment potentially between your goals and their goals. But for coaching to be truly effective, that individual needs to learn to own those goals, and they need to be committed to it. Otherwise, they'll walk away from a conversation, agree, but will never really kind of own that and take that self-responsibility. And you will always end up still taking that directive, that management approach, without freeing yourself up the time that you thought you can do if you really coach somebody to take that self-responsibility and that ownership. A nice question here around how do we build these positive relationships? I think that kind of teaser that I gave you. So there will be some more stuff coming through. I'll keep an eye on the Learning Hub. Really great relationships are based on 4 key pillars. So it's understanding and empathy. Do we have respect? Do we trust the individual and have that kind of candid relationship? And again, that really important one, have we always got that positive intent? And all of those areas are areas that if you break down your relationships and look at individuals that maybe you don't have such a great relationship with, you can kind of rank yourself and rank that relationship, and then think about what are some of the activities and actions you can take to improve that. The other thing I think is where relationships are so important is because it's important to be aware on the impact that we might have on an individual versus the intent, kind of what do we want to achieve. So quite often, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, you may feel like you're being micromanaged, but actually your boss is just has the intention, or the intention is he's just checking in to see if it's okay. Now that micromanagement feel probably may not be his intent at all, but may reflect on that kind of how that relationship is. Likewise, somebody's intention might be that I'm just showing concern. The impact that might have on you is that it feels like you're spying on me. So just be aware of what your impact is versus what the intention is you're having, and then think about how you build that relationship, how you build that trust around those different areas to develop.